Good morning, everyone. Thank you once again for joining the virtual meeting of AmCham Communications and CSR Working Group. Friday is an excellent day for some communication. Probably each day of the week is a good day for communications and charity. But today we are gathered on two very specific and probably close related topics that are shaping our lives, our jobs, our companies, or organizations. This is how we handle the good during crisis, and as well as how we communicate better or worse with our peers, with our stakeholders, with our even relatives during crisis. I'm very happy to introduce four distinguished speakers and colleagues, and probably friends, who accepted our invitation to join us on today's meeting, and we are looking forward to have your comments, questions, feedback during the webinar or afterwards. For the sake of hospitality, I have to mention that this webinar is being recorded for the sake of the needs of the working group, and if there is someone that doesn't want his or her face to appear online, let me tell you afterwards. But for the time being, it's being recorded, and we'll follow any feedback if there should be some restrictions to be considered. Okay, today's session has two main panels. The first panel is dedicated to charity, and the second one is dedicated to corporate communications, peer communications, whatever communications is involved, and is suitable for us to do our job and complete our tasks well. So in first panel, we've got we have the pleasure to welcome Krasimira Velichko, who is Executive Director of the Bulgarian Donors Forum. Applause, smile. And we've got Elitsa Barakurova from Because Foundation. Applauses again, thank you so much. Because Foundation is not only one of the founders of charity in Bulgaria, allow me to say so, but they're celebrating their quarter century anniversary this year. And as the good Balkan traditions say, such an occasion has to transmit and transform into the next year. So it will be a year-long celebration of their first 25th anniversary. And happy to have you, Elitsa, because we've got a lot of interesting projects that we could share with our colleagues. Thanksgiving is coming. We've got traditional charity initiatives, as well as we need to hear your opinion on the recent let's say charity crisis in Bulgaria. Having said that, that's the main reason I invited Krasimira Velichko to describe what were the recent consequences of the Help Karma fundraising. This is a NGO, a fundraising entity, I would say so, that is being involved in a scandal that they are not transparent. Look at Vicky's screen now, please. And she will describe her involvement, her point of view, or the point of view of the Donors Forum, as well as what could be the outcome, the outset of that scandal. Our main message here is that you as a professional should be well informed. That's why we invited people, professionals, and sources of information that will share their knowledge, their experience. And just to mention, which is very important, on the second panel, we've got Vicky Blazheva from Unicredit Bull Bank and Stiliana Kasabova from Kamenica. And they will speak about corporate communications, their takeaways from the crisis, and how did they and their colleagues, their managers cope with communicating while in crisis, while working from home. These are my 5 minutes so far. Krasi, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dani. Hello, good morning to all of you. It's quite an honor. It's my first time talking to AmCham members, although I know most of you or some. I'm very happy to be invited. Thank you, Dani. The task you're giving me is not very easy because it's a quite huge topic, but I will try to sum it up to 5-10 minutes. What happened with Help Karma, as most of you probably know or heard, but somebody maybe haven't. There was a media investigation shown up in 3 different parts, showing and accusing and proving that the biggest fundraising platform in Bulgaria, which was Help Karma, has misused the money and misused the trust of the donors and maybe some of the campaigns. Only after the first appearance of this scandal, it was last Friday, 2 weeks before Friday, there were 138 media publications all over the media that were saying that were mentioning this scandal. And of course, for us as Donors Forum and as Because Foundation, because most of the I would say all the organizations that are dealing with developing philanthropy field in Bulgaria, fundraising for good causes, felt immediately affected. So you know that with such scandals, it's more or less the public opinion is black or white, and here obviously it was all black, because the messages was how dare them, they steal the people's money, these foundations steal money, we shouldn't trust such foundations. That were more or less the general, not messages from the media, but comments from comments of the people in the social media and in the forums of the media. So what have we done? First, we breathed for a while. We were breathing like for almost half a day and talking with Iliana from the Workshop for Civic Initiatives Foundation, my board, and Dilana from Unicredit is also in the board of the forum, and she knows how that we were thinking what steps would we take in order to minimize the outcomes of this scandal in the philanthropy field in general. So we very quickly developed a statement and communicated it. Actually, we developed about 10 different statements before agreeing on what we should publicize. Then we gathered the support of many organizations, 56 by now, and made this statement public. We talked to a lot of media. We ourselves had a participation in different media, and actually our main messages were that this is just one case of misuse, that it should be followed by the authorities and regulators, and if this is proven, they should be take their responsibility about this according to the laws, and that there are many other good causes that deserve to continually be supported. And actually, a part of us we are very thankful that our partners, and not only partners as legal entities, but also as persons like Dani and many other people, also publicly shared their opinion on this and told people that there are good organizations. They shared examples of good organizations and people who honestly work in the philanthropy field and in different charities and NGOs and have dedicated their professional life actually to do good. So this is more or less the overall what happened. And to the question of Dani, what were how this influenced the field? Actually, we have two big concerns. Of course, the first one is that the donations that people will donate less, because we are sure that companies and foundations that have their funding programs, they won't be so much impacted on the scandals, because most of you work with trusted partners. So maybe you will continue to, or will be more careful when selecting partners, but more or less you have this deep knowledge about the field, and you will know who to ask and how to check when selecting partners. The entity is the same with the foundations that have their granting programs. The thing is about the people, the individuals who are donating, and we think that it might be a decrease in the next months of the giving of the people, but we believe that if we continue to share good causes, to explain and to help people to orientate themselves how to donate, maybe in the future months it will be forgotten. The other risk is that actually, and you've heard that many journalists, they ask, and what about the regulation? There is no regulation. We should have law on philanthropy, law on public collections. There is this misuse because we don't have the regulation, and actually the answer to us to this, our answer as professionals, is that actually this is not the truth, because we know, for example, that the banking sector is quite highly regulated, but the KTB bank scandal happened, right? So we know that whenever there are purposely intentions of misuse, it doesn't matter what regulation exists, these misuses will be happening. And this is not the first scandal in the philanthropy field. But having in mind what politicians we have at the moment and how many attempts there were to regulate the civil society sector and the philanthropy sector, and to not to regulate it in order to encourage and to put order in it, but actually to restrict it. We believe and we think that if such regulation was forced now, actually they will harm the field, and they will harm how the civil society and philanthropy organizations are working. Maybe you remember that only in July this year, VMRO party, they tried to put in force a law. They had a proposal, a draft proposal of a bill that was saying that all these organizations that are receiving, they call it foreign funding, above 500 euro from individuals from abroad or foundations or public institutions, they should register more or less. They didn't say it that, but that was in the core of the idea. They should register as foreign agents in the Ministry of Finance, and their boards, all their boards members should be registered with their income declarations, personal income declarations in, I don't know how it is in English, but CPA-COMPI. Of course, maybe, I don't know how many of you are in the boards of the civil society organizations. For sure, I know for Eliza, Vicky, Dilana here, but in practice, it would mean if this law was accepted, it would mean that all of us here, at least these 4 people, would have to publicly publish within CPA-COMPI their income declarations. So you could imagine how many people would refuse to be part of civil society organization, and that actually it would kill civil society. At the moment, what we are working on very, very intensively is actually in different groups and coalitions of organizations. Within the Donors Forum, we had a meeting yesterday within an informal club of fundraisers, which is the club of professionals that are fundraising in the NGOs. And other coalitions, we are talking of developing standards for good fundraising practices and trying to develop a system for, not a system, but a simple process for self-regulation in order to be able, we as organization, to have opinion when there are not good practices before the scandals, and also to be able to show who are the good organizations who are, apart from doing good work, also fulfilling these standards. So I will stop there. My 10 minutes are over, but I hope it was clear. And if you have questions, of course, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Krasi. Indeed, the event of Help Karma caused a chain reaction within the NGO sector that is dealing with causes, charity. We called it the social NGOs, probably. And guys, Vicky is typing comments in the chat. You are allowed to do so, asking questions or comments, and probably we'll have 2 parallel discussions at some point. But if some of you has any questions with regard to what Krasi said, you're most welcome to ask those questions now. Raise your hand and unmute your mic, and don't hesitate because time is running up. While waiting, I've got one question, Krasi, and then we'll pass the relay to Eliza. You invested a lot of efforts in order to differentiate the so-called good, transparent, sustainable NGOs that have 20+ years in the field, and even those that are young but still has a good track of records and positive impact on various parts of the society. Apart from, and you differentiate it well, apart from Help Karma and their methods. The scandal is very young. It's only less than 3 weeks since it erupted. But do you receive any positive feedback from people apart from those you mentioned, that the sector is being not harmed that much? And also, is there some signals from the government or from politicians that they will misuse the scandal to continue pursuing those goals that you mentioned for limitation the donations from foreigners in those draft act that was being proposed 3 months ago?
Well, from politicians, we didn't have anything till yesterday, because I don't know how many of you are aware of something else that happened, and it was that during the discussions for the national budget, state budget, last week, a proposal has been made by the DPC, how it is in English, one of the parties.
Turkish Minority Party, we called it in a random Bulgarian English translation, and
Yeah.
it's a movement for rights and justice.
But yeah. But they have proposed actually to allocate a budget of 1,100,000 Bulgarian leva, which is 550 euro, to organization called Donate BG, which organization actually doesn't exist. It doesn't exist at all. So when we saw this proposal the day before yesterday, we reacted, we sent questions, and last night during the discussion of the Budget and Finance Committee within the Parliament, the explanation was that the state, that this party intended to create a foundation within the Ministry of Labour and Social Affairs, and that this foundation, that it was like a reaction of what happened with Help Karma, and that they want to make a state foundation that will deal with philanthropy, and it's not created yet, but that's why they propose to have some money in order as a capital for the as initial funding for this foundation. And they would propose that the authorities, in the face of Smetnata Palata, should check the organizations dealing with philanthropy and raising money through philanthropy. And you all know well that actually these institutions only checks the public institutions. It checks how the public funding is spent. They don't have in their mandate to check how companies or how NGOs, which are private entities, are spending their finances. So, of course, it is only the beginning, but in this, we know how populistic these conversations usually goes. So of course we expect, not expect, but we are preparing ourselves for a scenario when this goes further.
Yeah, and we have to be prepared to fight back. And what you did yesterday with the position of the Bulgarian Donors Forum and other NGOs that express your outrage of this proposal that is being pushed in between the two hearings at the Parliament. Meanwhile, if you haven't checked the chat, please do so. Vicky is very active there. Thank you so much, Vicky. And her question, among some input, is related to: is there a reliable international register for a good NGOs? It's not like a stamp for legitimacy to operate, but
I see Vicky's questions. Of course, She's totally right, of course, about KTB. And of course, the idea of self-regulation is connected to this idea for us as organization to check what would be the good practices, and if there is a need also to propose some changes of the legislation. Then about the other ideas, thank you, Vicky. We will use them. And about the international register, there is none, but there are some. For example, in the US, it is called GuideStar, and it is actually a rating platform, a rating of NGOs. Yeah, yesterday we were discussing this idea also within the members of the Donors Forum, and we will think about it, because if we decide to go afterwards, it's quite a process and quite a heavy work. Yeah, because there are more than 40,000 registered organizations in Bulgaria, just to give you a clue about the field.
Yeah, and probably not all of them are dealing with causes and charity, or they are dealing with causes and charity.
Some of them are the sports club, some of them are the parents училищни настоятелства, parents committees within the schools. There are also registered as non-profit organizations, community centers. We in Bulgarian we call them читалища. But yeah, at least I would say, although it's approximate estimate, there is no official data about that maybe about 2,000 organizations or less than 2,000 are active as NGOs and fundraising all the time in order to be able to exist. Maybe it's too many. Maybe it's 1,500.
Yeah, probably we can invent some, let's say, tool or guidance how to differentiate, and we can do it for the world, not only for Bulgaria. And this will be some piece of good news that will mention Bulgaria worldwide.
Yeah.
Mirona, you have understood a lot of Bulgarian charity scandals recently, and I hope it worth it, not only for you, but for all the colleagues here. And while Krasi was speaking about the steps and activities that they have undertook so far, she mentioned several times because, and I was always standing up the time for Elitas to jump into that discussion. But Because Foundation has Because in its name, and we are very glad that our members Elita is here with us. So it's with that genuine transmission, I will pass the relay to Elita. Good morning, Cape Canaveral. Can you hear us?
Good morning. Hello. Really nice to see all of you, and thank you for this. What a big room! We wouldn't be able to get you physically together, so thank you. This is one of the positive impacts of this distance work type. I would start with just a little bit relating to what Krasi already said. Yes, we experience this negative influences. They build up with yesterday, the day before, with the state decision. And I live in a kind of a deja vu situation because Dani and Nadia mentioned our anniversary, but we have been already into this scenario, I don't know, 14 years ago when, again, another ministry decided to, taking the example of a campaign, I think most of you would remember United Media campaigns for sick children. And then, the government thought, obviously there is a momentum of people in Bulgaria giving money to sick children, so let's nationalize this idea into a state fund for treatment of children. This has been set up as a semi-governmental agency, not an agency, but sub-agency, whatever, a state thing that has the idea of really to focus and nationalize the philanthropy targeting sick children, which by nature is so much private, so much individual. So we can see another solution, taking shape at the moment with this new organization. And I just I can see the similarities in all the things from the past. We hope we know the indications now from the early stage and can interact better. But while the negative influence is here, while we talk, I get this blink on my screen of new donations coming. So I would say that we shall survive. We shall get on well. And I personally took a lot of positive lessons for me. When you work, it's not all the time easy for you to see it, to see yourself from the outside. And I can see all. First of all, thank you for the huge positive mentioning of BCOS, DMS, and Platformata.bg on all these 10 and 14 days. This is probably in my bubble, but still there's been a lot of positive mention of our name. And that makes me, of course, proud and feel really good. And we took some questions. We made some changes. We noticed that in these 14 days, the most visited place on our website was who are we and how we fund ourselves, how we fund our operation. So I think this has been a very good moment 5 years ago when we put it over there. We made some updates, and it's an ongoing work. We're not perfect, but again, we take it as a lesson that people, both individuals and companies, need a lot more transparency. And we are thinking how to automate this, how we can make it better and quicker. And again, on the positive side, it's never been a time like that when everybody talks about philanthropy. You know, we couldn't pay for it. We couldn't organize a promotion campaign like that, so that to make everybody think what the philanthropy means to them, what philanthropy and responsible actions means for the organization. So that's very positive, and I can see this developing. And on the top of it, well, we are entering the giving season. We are entering the philanthropy season. It's here. My organization is preparing for the Giving Tuesday celebrations. We published already within AmCham newsletter some information, but Giving Tuesday is here on the 1st of December. It's a day, a global day of giving, of generosity, of volunteering, and sharing the good things. It started as a reaction to the Black Friday consumer behaviors, and it grew immensely on a single day in US, and we are the AmCham, right? People they give 500 million on one day. Well, last year in Bulgaria, we gave 80,000, well, reportedly, under this umbrella of the Global Giving Tuesday, we gave 80,000 leva, but it's, of course, it's a lot more happening outside the initiative. So no matter what you plan to do, we are just encouraging everybody. Our role is just to spread this word that this is a global day. This is a communication occasion for you to speak what you already do, what you already plan. I can share that I think 8 companies right now are planning with because their charitable employee giving initiatives dedicated to Christmas or dedicated to Giving Tuesday or charitable auctions, bazaars, and things like that. As you know, one of our fields of activities is employee engagement, so we are pretty much on it, and we can see huge developments again because of the distance home type of working, because we are separated. We really, and the companies I talk to, we honestly need more occasions, more options that can bring us together and do something good. So this is happening right now. We are helping companies and expect more. So you're very much welcome to share your plans, and we are doing some media promotion of what the Bulgarian sector, philanthropic sector, the responsible companies are doing right now. So you're welcome to share with us. And just to again remember that Thanksgiving is close, and in Thanksgiving dinner, which we used to have every year for 24 years, 25 years, we used to get together and in addition to celebrating Thanksgiving and our gratitude for whatever good or bad happened to us for the previous year, we used to collect money to raise funds for underprivileged youth for your favorite Get Ready to Succeed scholarship programs. And as you know, the number of medical doctors has been rapidly growing within the scholarship program for the last 5 years. We have graduates now who have been supported from year 1, grade 1, till their 6th year as a medical student. And I'm really proud of these children who come from families with one or who do not have a parent, a caring parent with them, but are really struggling. They really strive. They learn, they study, and they have excellent marks in university. So the program is supporting, just to remind you, not a student because they are orphans or semi-orphans. It is supporting them because they are really excellent university students, and they are, I would say, wonderful persons as well. So now, if you give me the second slide and my last slide, Dani, can you show it? Anyway.
What is your slide?
Okay.
Share your screen.
Oh, I will. So we have been supporting as a AmCham membership has been supported this program for some time. So do you press just share or what? Anyway, so you might recognize these people. These actually the people who got support by the AmCham members. This is Nurse Petrova, Mariela Petrova, who is now working in the COVID ward. This is Dr. Peter Garov to the right, who also works in a COVID. Well, you know that young doctors, young people are now on the first front line of the COVID situation. So these are two people who we personally know, who you should personally know. These are really, really bright people who came from a difficult situation with their lives, but really got ahead. And now we all, rely on them. We trust them, and we look at them. If in any case we will need to support. And now I cannot stop this sharing thing.
Use a mouse and the line with mute, stop video, and share will appear on top or bottom of the screen.
Yeah, I can see you're bigger, but not. The thing that I want to end with, that I don't hope, I'm sure that the AmCham members and people as individuals would actually continue dealing with philanthropy, improving the way they make an impact of what they do. So this is my positive tone of the day, and now, yeah, happily take some questions.
Sure. Sylvia from America for Bulgaria Foundation asked a question in the chat with regard to what you're doing for Giving Tuesday 2020. And I pasted the link from AmCham.bg website that you provided information what is going on with Giving Tuesday this year. You mentioned a lot, let's say, how the initiative will start and how the funds will be collected.
Yeah. Well.
And we have to appeal to our colleagues, read that information, digest it a bit, share it with your peers, with your colleagues within the companies that you're working with, and motivate them to donate, as well as to the what we are cooking, Elitsa. Actually, we're preparing the online donation for the scholarships you mentioned.
Yeah, well, there are many more campaigns going on the two platforms, GMS, our oldest platform to give through by text messages and online, and Platformata.bg. There are a lot more campaigns over there. Some are dedicated to the topic of the day. We have hospitals and a group of volunteers raising funds to support doctors in some immediate needs. And we have campaigns of NGOs trying to do something else. Well, it's good to mention that last year also AmCham supported the other program for disadvantaged people, which also we managed with it in March, June this year to support several women, single mothers in a difficult situation. So yeah, there's a lot of going on, and because it's actually there to link people based on their internal values, based on the interest they share of to different campaigns. So they are both emergency campaigns right now and some longer term campaigns for children, elderly. Some are supporting core activities of NGOs, and that's going to be bigger. Some are linking their corporate giving to employee engagement, and they're volunteering to giving. So the options are there. The technologies are allowing us to make a lot more now. So just join. So you're controlling my computer now, and
I'm trying. I'm trying, but in vain, probably. Let us focus on two questions we've got in the chat. Mirona is asking, are you seeing a major shift to COVID-related campaigns? Are there any wider projects to support frontliners?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the big issue. I yesterday had this huge long conversation with initiators of charitable campaigns in spring, and people want to be engaged. People want to be useful, and the question is how we can create better synergies with the government, because
Eli, just to be aware that we can all see your screen. So
yeah, that's my fault actually. I'm trying to give control to Elitsa's, but in vain. Actually, I love that panda or whatever that is in Facebook.
Yeah, it's an advertisement of the new WWF game. So please go and buy it. There's 25% discount on ozone, I guess. So it's related to our talk. So people want to be engaged, but the biggest issues right now are relates to doctors, to the deficiency of doctors, medical staff, non-medical staff in the hospitals, and some issues relate to the technology, how we actually work out the supplies of necessary protective materials from the government stores to storage to the hospitals themselves, because some hospitals say they do not have protective materials, while the ministry says there is a lot of protective materials. So some people want to get engaged in a technological solution to this. Some want to engage with volunteers, and some people feel desperate that it's within the hands of the government, and there should be stronger private public partnerships in order to be better, in order to the funds provided by givers to do a better job. We need to work together. I'm trying I'm on the telephone with the hospital heads of biggest hospitals and within the Ministry of Healthcare. As you know, they had a GMS campaign last spring. They were able to raise some resources. We want now to hear how they are using it. I am on the line to see. We also donated a lot of protective materials to them. We want to see why hospitals are still asking for those. I'm trying to our best to relate, to be the one of the bridges between giving community and the government. There is a lot of collaboration needed there. And in addition, there are some organizations who struggle, who cannot actually attract enough attention of the givers right now because of the COVID-19 predominant topic for everybody. But for example, we were happy we were able to raise some funds, and this year we supported and one educational, one environmental organization, and we are going to make a third grant quite soon to organizations who somehow stand outside of the COVID scenario. They do not do social services directly related to COVID, but they still do a good job and need to, to come through this pandemic healthy and strong. Because I don't see the questions, I'm not sure.
Don't bother. They are good piece of advice with regard how to stop sharing your screen. And apology to all that I messed up Elita's screen, but her messages were quite clear enough, and we enjoyed that, Panda. Elita, if you cannot find the takeover button and take over control of your presentation, would you mind exiting the meeting and then coming back, because we need you here for another 30 minutes. Apology for that.
Yeah.
Not to shut down your screen, but okay, whatever.
Okay. So am I still sharing it? All right, I'll get out.
Yeah. Click to gain control and you will control your stuff.
Oh, do continue. I can't see what it is.
It's another lesson learned.
Ellie, in order to get out, you need a red button.
I will expel her.
Oh, please.
And then we
stop sharing. Don't expel me.
We have a winner.
It was just hiding when I hit the top and it appeared. Sorry, guys.
Cape Canaveral, thank you so much for this interaction, and once again, apology for messing up your presentation at the end, for taking control of it in order to help. With that virtual experience, we are happy to move forward with the second part of our virtual meeting, and it's dedicated to corporate communications, or probably people-to-people communication. I don't know, Vicky, what you have cooked for us today? I know you have slides and you are able to share them, and I will not take control over your sharing. So glad to have you here, as well as Steli from Kamenica. And ladies, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Danny. Actually, you sound like it's a completely different topic, but I would say it's not. And the fact that Eli learned now today is covering one point of my presentation. So thank you, Eli, for making the point in my presentation. And my point actually is that in all that we do now in the crisis, if we can get better with 1% in every single experience that we have, in the end, we will be all geniuses. So learning all the time from every meeting, from every presentation, from every question is one of the key takeaways. And why I'm saying that it is not, in fact, a different topic that I'm going to talk about together with Steli. It is not a different topic because we are talking about charity, about helping others. And I'm super happy to have my 6-year-old son with me, because no matter that it's in English, he's learning about charity, whatever he can understand. But he's learning about charity from a very young age. And I think this is something that we need all to do with our children. And I see Vasil from Junior Achievement here, that we work together. You know, financial education that we do with Vasil, and really teaching people about how to do good charity is something that we all need to get better in. And why it's not a different topic that I'm going to talk about with Steli communications, because you probably remember, although you haven't experienced it recently, when you go into the plane, what they tell you. When you go into the plane, they tell you you have to put, in an unlikely event of a cabin pressure loss or whatever, what you have to do first is to put your own mask, and just then start helping the others. And with Steli, we are going to cover the field on which we are putting the own masks of our colleagues. Because, you know, in the last months, I have never worked harder. I have never, ever worked harder than in the last months. And I guess it's for you, but also for our fellow communications professionals. Correct me if I'm wrong, comment, dislike, there is reaction button there. Just say the word. I have never felt communications being so much appreciated. Here, Steli, use the button. I have never, ever felt communications being so appreciated. Everybody wants to hear communications. And here is 5 lessons. Here's to Buriana. Thank you, Buriana. Galia, you are getting the hold of it. Thank you, guys, because Desi, I'm seeing myself, and I see the presentation, and I don't see our faces, but I'm already used to it. And whenever I see you, Zakharina, I see you, it gives you, Desi Kirkova, it gives you really a very good feeling of bonding, even in this virtual state. So here's 5 lessons from the pandemic. First lesson is focus. It might sound generic, it might sound blah, blah, but the thing is, what happened, guys, when the pandemic started? We started to teach ourselves how to, wash our hands. And here, you don't have to listen to the video. It's not for you to listen. It's just as a background noise. But what I'm saying here, what we did from the very first beginning, and probably you did too, but this is a lesson to all of us. We focus on the little things. We focused, I have done video on how to wash your hands properly. I have done video on how to put your gloves on and how to take them off. And this is the safety in the airplane, because before you start to help others, you have to start helping yourself. And really, Sometimes people might say, oh, but you have to talk about strategy, blah, blah, blah. No way. You have to talk about what really matters to people. And at that time, what really mattered to people is what on earth is a safe distance. You have to explain. Now, because people have to define what is a direct contact, when you have a positive PCR, you have to define the direct contact. Your communication now is, what is a direct contact? What is the definition of direct contact? So my point is really, we focus, focus, focus. And this leads me to the next lesson. And it is really the smallest things mattered at that time. Second lesson is small things matter. And I will show you a very small thing. And it is even as an illustration to something that I really am fond of, and it is called phygital. So phygital means that we do have all the digital possibilities. Some of you have fantastic digital backgrounds, but we shouldn't forget that we also need the physical world. And because my digital background didn't work at the beginning, here I have my physical background. So small things matter, and always plan for plan B, because plan A sometimes doesn't work. In our events when we organize, I don't know, Dani, I don't wish you anything bad, but what if you drop down from the meeting? Who is going to take over? In our meetings in the bank, in our events, we always have plan B, and Dilyana is always my plan B. She's even better than me sometimes, but I take over from time to time. But my point is, small things matter. Here is a small physical thing that we did, which we creatively copied from the internet. Why I'm sharing with you those things? This is for you to take and apply in your organizations, because I believe when we share, you will have some very good ideas that you might share after my presentation. I see you guys when you comment, so it's fantastic to see your comments coming. I see every single name of it. So we saw this LinkedIn post. And this is, you can imagine what a small thing this is. We saw this LinkedIn post that because people, when they're returning to work, they feel themselves a little bit concerned. Who is going to touch me, hug me, or whatever. I haven't seen Dilyana for a very long time, and she really wanted to hug me, I guess, I hope, when she saw me. But, you have to
remember that I wear green.
Yes. So the point is, Dilyana wears green, but I wear red. So when Dilyana meets me and she knows the message is, please don't touch me because I don't feel comfortable. And no matter how much Dilyana wants to hug me, no. And I can tell you a story. I put the red one. So actually we gave this to the employees to pick up. So just to clarify, we put it on the entrances of our big buildings, and every colleague had to pick whatever their preferences were, whether they want to be close or keep a very, very large distance. So I put a red one. I'm a little bit more cautious. And whenever I go to the elevator and people see me in the red one, they leave me alone in the elevator so not to bother me. So really, I give you this small, insignificant, but actually very significant thing about communications. Mirona, thank you very much for commenting. Another thing that I wanted to show you is the third lesson, ask for feedback. So whenever you communicate, because we are very busy, we sometimes forget to ask people. I give you two types of communication. For instance, when we started to communicate at the beginning of the crisis, we sent information on various topics. And then we stopped and asked people, is the information enough? And for our case, this is what they told us within the bank for 4,000 people. My point is, do organize in your organizations, if you haven't done so, do organize this thing. Steli, thank you so much for the applause. Do organize these things, and you're going to learn things. Sometimes you're going to learn something you don't like, but at least you will know it. And I show you something that I didn't like 100%, but nevertheless, I did it. So if you're a manager, and most of you, all of you here are manager of a team, whenever I say, do your research, do a survey, usually you think, I have to contact the survey agency, do something, blah, blah, blah. No, I urge you to do a survey in your own team. Ask them, how satisfied am I with the current work? And you can do it easily in SurveyMonkey. Does your manager provide you with clear enough information? Are you satisfied with the working conditions? So I do it for our own team. I send them, we are like 8 people overall. I send them and they give this, and this is completely anonymous, but I can sense the feeling of the people. And sometimes when I ask open questions, do I do everything that you need? Sometimes they tell me no, but at least you give them the floor to tell you. So do a survey in SurveyMonkey or whatever the choice of your platform, and see the feedback of the people. Lesson 4 is 1% better, and this is what I was telling to Elica. This is exactly my point. So every single meeting, every single presentation, it is a lesson learned for us. I tell you from the beginning, Kaizen is my favorite Japanese word of improving, improving, improving. Every single meeting, and we had quite a lot of events so far. For like WebEx, first we started with a simple meeting. Then, as you can see, we have our backgrounds. Then we started to use polling. Then we started to use reaction. So every single occasion is a point of learning. Lesson 4, and this is the referral to the International Space Station. The guy that you see here is Mr. Kelly. He's actually one of the 2 twins who are astronauts. Imagine how proud is their mother. And one of them just became even congressman. So this one spent 1 year in, Vicky, can you share the survey questionnaire? Absolutely, yes, I will. This guy, he spent 1 year in space. Why I'm showing you this? Because I want to make the other point. We send people at home. I'm sure all of your companies send people at home, but were they prepared to work from home? Psychologically, making the balance working from home, screaming because they were all overloaded with the work. And this is my point. We need to give people tools and trajectory. And this guy helped me give the tools. This guy spent 1 year in space, and what is a better example of working from home? His home was the International Space Station, and he couldn't even get out of the space station. So he wrote this piece for New York Times, in which he explained what are the steps in order to survive this working from home. And with this, I present you our Pride and Joy, which is for you to use, however you like. This is a book that we compiled with all the knowledge that we gathered about working from home. Here you have very useful tips how to be a member of a team. We have practical advices for managers, how to give, how to organize meetings, what to do. Vasil, thank you very much for the thumbs up, I see it. How to reach the balance working from home. The advices of the astronauts for working from home. And my favorite, 21 methods for higher productivity from home. I will send you the link. My point here is there is not a single advertisement in this book because we saw on the market that there was no book on the topic. It is all practical advices that we gathered learning by doing. So this is for you to use if you want. This is making my point. We need to give people the tools. We should not assume that our colleagues know because we personally don't know. This is the website. I will send you the website in case you would be interested to use any of the tips and tricks. certainly what we thought is, whenever we are in the office, we are sending the vibe of UniCredit, or your company, whichever you're representing. But when you're not in the office, you have to send the same vibe. So we created these WebEx backgrounds, and we were very first in the group actually in Bulgaria. Now everybody in the group wants these backgrounds. So here is how they look on our meetings. I go on. And the final lesson is everything is phygital. So we already spoke about it. We have to be prepared with plan A and plan B. And really don't forget the small things that we discussed at the beginning. I remind you the proximity bracelets, and now we are working on another way of defining our people whenever they're seen on the screen and working from home. So with this, I thank you, and I hope when I presented, it just gave you an idea to apply. And I really would encourage you to share some ideas or comment on this. Thank you. Sonia, thank you.
Thank you, Vicky. Thank you so much. Probably the good expression is smart copy of your experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
May I say something? Smart copy.
Sure.
So we smart copied the bracelets, and the most popular background, which Diljana was with it a minute ago, we smart copied it from a meeting that we were at Harvard Business School. So they made some kind of online seminar. We went to the seminar, we saw the design, and we said, this is a good design. We need to copy that. So it's a smart copy, yes.
Thank you once again.
Still with pride. This is our version of smart copy.
Yeah, definitely. And improve. Okay. Steady, are you ready for your part?
I think I am. Okay.
Excellent. It is on in 3, 2, 1. Yes.
Do you see it full screen, everything?
Yep.
Okay, great. So hi everyone from me as well. Thank you to the AmCham colleagues for this invitation. This is also my first time speaking to all of you. And after this great tips from Vicky, I hope that you will also get some small tips from me as well, and from what we did at Kamenica in the next few minutes.
Steli, may I make a point? You can see on Steli's presentation that hers is better than mine because she actually customized it very well and put the logo of AmCham to match that we are together on this meeting, and AmCham is our host. So very well done, Steli.
Thank you. So your tips in practice. Okay, so in the next few minutes, I would like to focus your attention on 3 aspects of the communication, and especially in crisis. And basically, these are the role of the employer, the role of the communicators in an organization, and the communication to colleagues. We are all aware about the impact that the COVID-19 has put on our lives, personal and professional. There are a lot of unknowns, there are a lot of questions, and exactly this brings the anxiety and the fear and the stress in people. And here comes the role of the crucial role of the communicators. And by communicators, here I mean the government, the institutions, different organizations, but also the employer. Here on this slide, basically, I have put some of the main takeaways from a research made by Edelman at the beginning of the pandemic. It was conducted in 10 countries on a few continents, including a few countries from Europe. So 63% of the respondents from the survey said that they consider their employer as the most credible source of information, and also that the employees need frequent communication toward them. These are some very high percentages as we can see. Also, 54% stated that together with the scientists and experts, the employees trusted their directors and CEOs as well. 62% of the respondents declared that my employer is better prepared than my country to deal with the COVID-19. And 78% of the people said that it is the responsibility of the employer that plays a key role, and they have big expectations toward their employer. These are some numbers that clearly state the big role of the employer toward the communication with the employees within the company. And I just wanted to share a few things that we did at Kamenica in this direction. Basically, I have categorized them in three aspects. The first one is the health and safety, as Vicky already mentioned, a few very important things. Then the mental support, and then the communication. In terms of health and safety, Vicky shared already some very good tips, but yeah, we needed to talk to our employees and teach them some very basic knowledge about hygiene, physical distance, and so on. What we did is also that we provided masks to all of our employees, because we have 1/3 of our company are people who are working on the market. They're meeting with various customers each day. Another 1/3 are employees who are working at our Haskovo brewery. So for us, it was critical to ensure that these people work in safe conditions. The other thing that we did in terms of support, mental support to our employees, is that we organized different online sessions. We call them different kind of workshops, how to, where we had speakers from within the company, different colleagues from different departments talking on diverse topics such as how to communicate effectively, what we are basically having now, how to work virtually, how to manage your teams virtually. And it was very good because it was sharing of knowledge from within the company, from colleagues to other colleagues. And the other important thing was the communication. We were the first country within our Central and Eastern Europe region, which organized a virtual town hall with the leadership team of the company, together with the senior managers. And we received a really good feedback here from the participants, because our leadership team shared their vision, shared the company performance for the first few months of the company, shared the measures, all the decisions that are they have been taking to ensure the safety and the health of our people, and it was much appreciated. Then let's talk about the role of the communicators. By communicators here, I would like you to have in mind not just the comms teams in each organization, but also the leadership teams, and most importantly, the people managers, the people who are managing our people, because they're every day minute to minute in contact with their teams. And there are a few characteristics that I have derived from a few readings in Korn Ferry and also McKinsey. And these characteristics, you can see them on the screen: being calm, being courageous, being optimistic, being empathetic, and being resilient. I will just focus on a few important things for each one of them. In terms of being calm, I encountered one very interesting statement from Jill Ryder. She is the president of the Chartered Institute for People Development, and basically she's comparing the leaders to the swans. She's saying that leaders need to be like swans. They should glide smoothly on the water, but below the surface, they need to pedal with their feet very fast, unseen by their teams. And it's very important to notice here that, and basically to know that our employees copy the behavior of the leaders. So leaders are these people in the organization who can calm down the other people. So they need to declare grace and they need to be composed, especially in times of crisis. Then the other thing, being optimistic. Here I have included a few things in terms of communication and in terms of confidence. In terms of communication, it is the role of the leaders to share the vision, the purpose of the company, because this is the anchor they can use to associate better with their employees. In terms of confidence, the leaders need to first show confidence, lead by example, but also show the confidence they have in the people, in the organization, and reassure about the future. Then another one, being courageous. We all know that the leaders, these are the people who hold the course, who need to make sure that all the people are working toward the same direction, toward achieving the same results. Very important is also being empathetic. It is the role of the leaders to make sure that they say constantly to the people that we are all in this together, that we are on the same boat, and that we can manage and that we will manage together and as one team. Here, another interesting statement that I read is basically that leaders cannot influence and cannot manage people's feelings, but they can reduce the level of stress and anxiety and reduce the level of fear. And of course, the resilience. Being resilient, but also inspire resilience within the teams. A few examples we have in this direction is the regular communication that we had toward our people in terms of sharing tips and tricks for effective working from home. We also have had motivational videos from our leadership team and especially from our CEO. You can see the man with the flag on the screen. Our CEO, he is a Serbian. And basically, in the beginning of the pandemic, due to the restrictions, he could not able to get into Bulgaria, so it was quite a challenge for him. We also set weekly newsletters with different kind of information in terms of mental and physical health, and most importantly, we needed to take a special care for our people. From the sales teams that were on the market. So we developed these small messages, kind of posters that we put on their tablets with which they work every day so that they can motivate and inspire them. The last aspect of the communication I wanted to share with you is the communication to colleagues. Basically, this is what we have practiced each minute and throughout the day. I will not go through all the things, just wanted to focus your attention on two things here. The first one is listening, and the second one is recognition. In terms of listening, the popular leadership development expert John Maxwell is saying that very few people have good listening skills. This is something that should be developed and could be developed over time. Because in most of the cases when we listen just to be able to immediately respond, but not so much to understand or to connect. And exactly the connection is this thing that associates and that can relate us to the people from the other side, because this increases our influence with these people. So for the leaders and for the communicators, it is really important to listen carefully. But also inspire and build this culture within their teams. And the next thing is about recognition. No matter of the results, no matter of the times, people are doing their jobs, and they're doing them in the most productive and effective way. And we really need to take a step back and to reflect on everything that has been done. And here by recognition, I don't mean just official recognition, but also everyday celebration of all the small wins we have had. We have developed a special COVID-19 recognition program, and it was a big success because just for 1 week we managed to get more than 80 nominations for various people. We have also provided different tools to our employees on how to recognize and celebrate these successes with the small thank you cards, with badges in our HR system, via LinkedIn, and so on. And in terms of the virtual connection, we are not so much a tech company, let's say. Basically, in the last few months, we had to learn more how to communicate and use Microsoft Teams, for example. And we managed to organize our first ever online Open Brewery Day, which actually is a physical event that we do in our brewery. But almost 2/3 of the company were able to join online, and it was really a very good and very socializing, very relaxing event. So this was for me. I don't plan to go over this slide. I think it's self-explanatory. My last message toward you is that whatever you do, take care of yourselves, of your teams, and stay safe. Thank you for this time. I hope it was interesting and helpful for you. So I'll be really happy to answer any questions or discuss further the topics that we already mentioned and shared with Vicky.
Thank you, Steli. Indeed, one of the attendees here has a very good idea to restart the physical brewery hours afterwards. Probably afterwards means March 2021. We don't have any, or we've got few pharma companies attending here, but I hope that the research is going well, and soon we will have a vaccine or vaccines that will allow us to mingle with each other with a pint of beer or something else. The French chamber is celebrating the new Beaujolais this week, and we received some packs well wrapped. Once again, thank you so much. Indeed, if you have any questions, guys, colleagues, friends, don't be afraid to ask them, either typing them or asking them verbally. I've got one question while waiting for others. Vicky, Gala, hi Gala, Steli, Vicky, Steli, to you, 2 questions, and if other colleagues want to jump in, they are more than welcome. What about time management? In times of working from home with overlapping tasks and people jumping with requests and details on certain topics, certain projects, certain tasks, how the communication can help to overcome multitasking or overcome controlling the noise, get the essence of any issue that might appear. What's your view?
Dani, I would be like some best-selling author and say, just read the book, man. Just read the book. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, you go over the book. But this is why, as I said, we have never, ever worked more. But I would say it has never been more rewarding because we can feel the effect of it. And yes, you will see in the book, we just remind ourselves of all the tips that we can get and all the tips that we can give to each other and just share as much as possible. These are not mine, these are not yours. These are to every single company. If more of us know these tips, you know, they could really help us at least a little bit. One small tip is don't schedule meetings back to back, because after every single meeting, you need at least 10 minutes. In 1 minute, I'm supposed to be on another meeting. Don't schedule meetings back to back. This is a practical lesson, for instance, that I can share. Steli probably has another.
Yes, Vicky, I absolutely agree. And also leave some time in between the meetings, because it is always better to follow up right after the meeting than at the end of the day or whatsoever. I can also add discipline here, and basically blocking your calendar with things that are important for you to finish the day, are not important for other people that want to be on their meetings. And very important, the role of the line managers, because especially in our cases when we have different employees in different parts of the country, the line managers are the people who can really get under their skin and help these people manage this period. Because believe me, for sales representatives, for brewery operators, it is a completely new world, teams and all these things. So yeah.
Thank you once again. We are going to an end to our discussion, to our virtual meeting. Probably there are comments, there could be some, of course, we will appreciate any feedback. And if there are questions that were unsaid, unasked, please do not hesitate. Either type them here or send them to me or to the colleagues. We can link together. Well, we can even arrange another small scale or large scale meeting as well, because those things work, as we have already witnessed. Probably we have to touch upon the topic of the corporate culture, and how we had to adapt it, the culture, and improve it if there is some way to improve such animal as the corporate culture. The moderator has to be punctual. Indeed, the meeting is over now. It's been scheduled for 1.5 hours only, and thanks God it's Friday. So we have to focus on other tasks. And I'll have to say a couple of words at the end. Please turn on your screens in order to have those smiley screenshots that we are doing at the end of each and every webinar. I have to mention that next week we are going to have the launch of the first and only webinar with leaders of AmCham Bulgaria. We will have Simeon Stoichev from Progress and Evelyn de Laird Snyder from the Coca-Cola company, Coca-Cola Bulgaria to be precise, and they will share their experience, their values, what they have achieved so far with their teams in the country and in the region or globally, because they have such roles. I'm sharing my screen now. I'll stop the unpleasant contents that might appear if someone wants to take over my presentation. And please share that information, register here. It's a very user-friendly registration tool. I hope you will enjoy our new layout with purple, bluish, and those smiley faces of those leaders that are going to speak and join us on November 26th. Also, again, Giving Tuesday, Get Ready for Success e-campaign. Join, participate, donate, share. And now, if there isn't anything left, or if I have missed something, I will send it to those long bilingual emails that I'm sending you. I will recap what we are doing, which institution that we have a quarrel or have insisted to improve the business climate. And at the end, be well, stay safe. That's the common thing saying at the end, but indeed do so. Take care of yourself and your relatives and close ones. Smile now for the print screen photo and pretend that Friday is the best day of the week. Thank you all. Have a great day, end of the week, and enjoy the weekend.
Bye.
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 Bye.